Today is Friday, July 14th. We have an update about the intense heat stretching thousands of miles across the U.S., breaking records from coast to coast. Also, a landmark decision to make birth control pills as easy to access as aspirin. And why the World Health Organization is warning people about a common sweetener found in Diet Coke, yogurt, and chewing gum. Plus, the federal government is now investigating the company behind ChatGPT. This week's Amazon Prime Day made history. And a shift in the music industry has taken streaming to new heights. Those stories and more news to know today coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. 115 million Americans in 15 states are now under heat alerts. The National Weather Service expects more long-standing temperature records to be broken, possibly more than once, since this heat wave is set to continue well into next week. From California to Texas, triple-digit temperatures will be a given, except near the coast and in the mountains. Parts of the desert Southwest could even get into the 120s and could hit milestones for the longest streak of exceptionally hot days. That's especially concerning since the longer these heat waves last, the more dangerous they become. So people are being encouraged to stay in the AC as much as possible and increase their fluid intake. Cooling and hydration stations have been set up in some of the hottest areas like Las Vegas and Phoenix. There's a big fight in Congress brewing over the yearly defense policy bill that usually passes no problem with support from both sides of the aisle. But this year, there were some controversial amendments added that have lawmakers divided. House Republicans made the new additions that would restrict abortion access, ban transgender health services, and defund diversity training for military personnel. And the U.S. House passed them along party lines. But Democrats in both the House and Senate are against them, so they could keep the defense bill from moving forward as a whole. Amendments aside, the main point of the bill is to authorize $886 billion in spending on national security. It also includes a 5.2% pay bump for troops, which is the largest in more than 2 decades. The Senate is now trying to work on its own version of this, assuming the House one might not pass. So stay tuned. For the first time, the FDA approved a birth control pill you can get over the counter, aka without a prescription. So that means people will be able to buy contraceptives online, at drugstores, convenience stores, and grocery stores. The over-the-counter option is called the O-pill. We told you about it back in May when FDA advisors recommended the FDA go ahead and give it the thumbs up. And now the agency has done just that. There will be no age restrictions on sales. For now, it's not clear how much the pills will cost. The drug maker behind the O-pill says it will be widely available early next year. There's a new warning about an artificial sweetener widely used in diet drinks and low-sugar foods. We're talking about aspartame. And now the World Health Organization classifies it as a possible carcinogen, meaning it could possibly cause cancer, citing a few recent studies. But here's the thing. You would have to consume a lot of it for it to be really dangerous. By some calculations, a person weighing 150 pounds could drink about a dozen cans of diet soda a day and still avoid a risk of cancer. So the WHO is just suggesting moderation. The FDA says there's still plenty of evidence that aspartame is safe, and some health officials say the evidence linking aspartame to cancer is weak anyway. Now scientists are calling for more long-term research. Some of that is already underway. Tens of thousands of movie and TV actors are now officially on strike, joining screenwriters who walked off the job 11 weeks ago. The Actors Union's board of directors voted unanimously to approve the strike after negotiations between the union and major studios ended without a deal on a new contract. Both writers and actors have been battling studios for a deal that would give them better pay and residuals from streaming and address other issues like the use of artificial intelligence. The studios and unions each blame each other for being unreasonable in negotiations. So now this is the first time in 63 years that both Hollywood actors and writers have been on strike at the same time. And it's not clear how long it will last. What we do know is all movies and scripted TV shows in the U.S. will now have to stop production. The only exception is independent movies that aren't associated with one of the major studios. So expect a lot of delays to the fall TV calendar and movie releases. For now, count on more reality shows, game shows, and opportunities to binge older shows and movies on streaming. We have much more news for you still coming up. But first, a break for our sponsor, AG1. I drink it every day now because I now feel more sustained energy throughout my day since starting it. I can also tell it supports gut health, and I appreciate that it's supporting my immune system too. We're talking 75 high-quality vitamins, probiotics, and whole food-sourced ingredients. I drink AG1 as part of my morning routine before I really get going and start my day. It's easy to put in a to-go cup while I have to run around with my toddler or make breakfast for him, and it makes me feel like I'm also doing something for myself and for my body. It's so easy to make with one scoop mixed with ice water. I personally like a splash of lemon, and in that moment, I have started the day on the right foot. And yes, I have tried a bunch of different supplements, but I love that AG1 is one solution to support whole body health. So if you are looking for a similar effective investment for your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/newsworthy. That's drinkag1.com/newsworthy. Check it out. NASA made another exciting discovery on Mars. The space agency's rover apparently found what could be key building blocks for life within a crater on the red planet. That crater is where a lake existed long ago, and the rover apparently found a wealth of organic molecules from 10 different spots. Researchers say this is not necessarily proof of Martians, and organic chemicals could have gotten to Mars in other ways, like on a meteorite. So some evidence was collected for more analysis back on Earth. And the hope is scientists will be able to find out answers one way or another if and when samples make it here safely. The federal government is now investigating the company behind ChatGPT, called OpenAI. The FTC wants to know whether the chatbot has harmed anyone by publishing false information about them. It called on OpenAI to hand over detailed descriptions of all complaints it's received about its products so far. Plus, it wants the company to provide records related to a security incident back in March when a bug in the system revealed some user data like chat histories. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says his company will, of course, work with the agency, but that he's already confident ChatGPT is following the law. Altman also said the company protects user privacy and designs its systems to, quote, learn about the world, not private individuals. The Washington Post says this is the biggest regulatory threat OpenAI has faced to date in the U.S. Already, the FTC has warned companies that existing consumer protection laws apply to AI, too. And if the FTC finds OpenAI violated those laws, it can levy fines or dictate how the company handles data. So, to be continued. The world's largest pizza company has finally agreed to join forces with delivery apps. Some customers will soon be able to order Domino's on Uber Eats and Postmates. The pizza chain has been a holdout on those apps for a while now. At one point, it even publicly highlighted the app's delivery fees, and it preferred to instead use its own app and website to take orders. Well, those will still be around as options, but now it's also expected to be rolled out on Uber Eats and Postmates across the country by the end of this year, as well as several international markets. Orders will keep being delivered by uniformed Domino's drivers, so Domino's will keep control of its brand, image, and food quality. But the company is reportedly hoping the extra exposure will boost sales. Fellow pizza brands Papa John's and Pizza Hut already work with the third-party delivery apps in the U.S. Amazon's Prime Day event was bigger than ever before. The online retail giant says Prime members around the world bought more than 375 million items and collectively saved more than $2.5 billion. The most popular items were in home goods, fashion, and beauty. The 2-day sale was also apparently the biggest in history for independent sellers, most of which are small and medium-sized businesses. Probably because Amazon says it offered more deals on small business products than ever before. Amazon was not the only place people were shopping, though, as many competitors offered competing sales, too. Adobe Analytics says during the 2-day sale, people spent nearly $13 billion across all online marketplaces. That's more than 6% higher than last year and a new record for demand driven by Prime Day. The music business has also seen some new records broken this year. Worldwide, the industry has surpassed 1 trillion streams at the fastest pace ever in a single calendar year. A new report from the entertainment data provider Luminate found the milestone was reached just 3 months into 2023. So what could be driving the surge in music streaming? Well, Luminate also found about 40% of American music listeners are now listening to music in a non-English language. Nearly 70% listen to artists who are not from the U.S., mainly through Latin genres and K-pop. But whether the music comes from the U.S. or elsewhere, listeners are getting a lot of options. At the current rate, digital services like Spotify and Apple Music will reportedly add about 41 million tracks this year. The most popular albums still stand out. So far this year, the most streamed album has been Morgan Wallen's One Thing at a Time, and the top song has been Wallen's Last Night. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Feel Good Friday, when we bring you one extra feel-good or positive news story before the weekend. But before we get into that, I want to let you know about our sponsor, Miracle Made. Anyone else here loathe doing laundry? Or at least I don't like finally finishing all the laundry only to feel like I need to do it all over again. Well, I'm here to tell you about Miracle Made's bed sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent, get this, 99% of bacteria and require 3 times less laundry. How do they do it? Inspired by NASA, Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics that prevent bacterial growth, which leaves them cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. And of course, I wouldn't be telling you about them if they weren't also really comfortable to sleep on. Go to trymiracle.com/newsworthy to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order now, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code newsworthy at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/newsworthy and use the code newsworthy to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/newsworthy to treat yourself. Okay, now back to Feel Good Friday. And today we are talking about how neighbors in San Diego have donated their yards to a one-woman flower farmer. Her name is Rachel Nafis. She lives in one of San Diego's poorest neighborhoods that's not known for a lot of greenery, infrastructure, or even businesses. But she's transformed it into a floral wonderland. Besides her yard and her neighbors' yards, she's cultivated her flower farm in the alley behind her home. Nafis takes care of everything from planting to watering. What's in bloom changes with the seasons, though the flowers are often very rare. She conserves water with drip systems and timers and also subsidizes her neighbors' water bills. She says she doesn't use any chemicals and creates a natural habitat for birds and beneficial insects. Then the flowers she cuts are sold through her small business that's now popular with flower shops, event florists, and bouquet lovers. Nafis says she started the farm for 2 reasons. 1, to make responsibly grown flowers available in San Diego, and 2, to add some charm to an area that was in need of a boost. In the process, Nafis says she also formed meaningful, lifelong relationships with the people who live around her. One of the neighbors who volunteered her yard told the LA Times, quote, "She's taught us that all neighborhoods can be beautiful." Well, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for our special edition Saturday episode. We're having a conversation about resilience. Then join us again Monday for your next news roundup. For now, thanks again for being here today and have a great weekend.